Harvard just discovered something that changes everything we thought we knew about sleep after 60. The mineral keeping you awake at night is not magnesium. In fact, 41% of people over 60 are deficient in a completely different mineral right now. And that deficiency is why you wake up at 3 a.m. even after taking magnesium for months. If you've been taking magnesium for 3 months, 6 months, even a year, but you're still waking up at 3 a.m., I'm going to show you exactly why in the next 90 seconds. Stay with me. This could be the answer you've been looking for. Here's what Harvard's Sleep Medicine Division found. After age 60, 3 minerals drop dramatically during the night, and those drops are what pull you out of sleep. Not magnesium, not melatonin. 3 different minerals: potassium, calcium, sodium. Let me say that again because this is critical. Potassium, calcium, and sodium. When potassium drops, your muscles start firing false alarms. Your legs twitch, your calves cramp, and every twitch sends a wake-up signal straight to your brain. When calcium drops, your brain can't process melatonin properly. You produce the sleep hormone, but your body doesn't absorb it. So you lie there wide awake even though you're exhausted. And when sodium falls too low, your heart compensates by increasing its rate. You don't feel it consciously, but your nervous system does. And that subtle spike in heart rate is enough to pull you out of deep sleep and into the lightest, most fragile stage of rest. This is why you wake up at 3 a.m. This is why your legs feel restless. This is why you feel tired even after 8 hours in bed. Your body's not broken. It's just asking for the right minerals at the right time. And once you give it what it needs, everything changes. Now let me show you exactly how to fix this in 30 days. Before we go any further, let's talk about why everyone tells you to take magnesium. Magnesium is important. It does help with muscle relaxation and nerve function. But here's what the supplement industry doesn't tell you. After age 60, magnesium is rarely the main problem. Harvard researchers tracked nighttime electrolyte levels in older adults, and what they found was stunning. Magnesium levels stayed relatively stable throughout the night, but potassium, calcium, and sodium, those 3 fluctuated wildly. Potassium dropped by an average of 12% between midnight and 4 a.m. Calcium absorption declined by 23%, and sodium levels fell just enough to trigger cardiovascular compensations that disrupted sleep cycles. And here's the kicker. When researchers gave participants magnesium supplements alone, nighttime awakenings decreased by only 9%. But when they balanced potassium, calcium, and sodium throughout the day, awakenings dropped by 54%. 54%. So why does everyone keep recommending magnesium? Because it's easy to sell. It's a single pill. It's simple. But your body after 60 doesn't need simple. It needs balance. Here's what happens when these 3 minerals fall out of balance at night. Your muscles become hyperexcitable. Your heart rhythm destabilizes. Your brain can't transition smoothly between sleep stages. And you wake up over and over again, wondering what's wrong with you. But nothing is wrong with you. Your body is just asking for something different now. And once you understand what that is, you can fix it faster than you ever thought possible. Now let me show you exactly what each mineral does and how to restore balance starting tonight. Let's start with potassium, because this is the mineral most directly connected to those annoying leg cramps and twitches that jolt you awake. I want you to imagine this. You're lying in bed. You're finally drifting off. And suddenly your calf muscle spasms, or your thigh tingles, or your foot jerks involuntarily. And just like that, you're wide awake again. That's not random. That's a potassium deficiency. The Mayo Clinic documented this clearly. When potassium levels drop below a certain threshold, your muscle cells lose their ability to stay calm. They fire off electrical signals even when you're not moving. And those signals travel straight to your brain, which interprets them as a reason to wake up. Here's the part that surprises most people. You can have normal potassium levels during the day and still experience nighttime deficiency. Why? Because you lose potassium through sweat, through breathing, and through natural hormonal shifts while you sleep. And after 60, your kidneys don't reabsorb potassium as efficiently as they used to. So by 3 or 4 a.m., your levels have dropped just enough to trigger muscle hyperactivity. And that's when you wake up. Now, you've probably heard that bananas are the answer, but here's the truth. A single banana gives you about 400 milligrams of potassium. That's helpful, but it's not enough. And more importantly, eating a high potassium food right before bed can cause a spike that actually disrupts your electrolyte balance even more. What works better is spreading potassium-rich foods throughout the entire day. Spinach, avocado, white beans, salmon, sweet potatoes. These foods release potassium slowly and steadily, keeping your levels stable from morning to night. Here's your action step. Add 1 serving of a high potassium vegetable to breakfast. Add another to lunch, and have a small serving at dinner. Don't pile it all into one meal. Your body needs consistency, not spikes. And here's what happens when you do this. Within 7 days, most people notice a dramatic drop in nighttime leg cramps and muscle twitches. Within 2 weeks, the frequency of middle-of-the-night awakenings decreases by 30 to 40%. Your muscles stay calm, your nerves stay quiet, and your sleep deepens. This is not complicated, but it has to be done the right way. Let me tell you about Margaret. She's 67. She came to me after spending over $300 on magnesium supplements, sleep teas, and weighted blankets. Nothing worked. She was still waking up every single night at 2:30 a.m. with restless legs. I asked her one question: "What did you eat yesterday?" She told me, and I realized immediately that she was getting less than 1,500 milligrams of potassium per day. The recommended amount for her age? 2,600 milligrams. I didn't tell her to buy anything. I just told her to add spinach to her eggs in the morning, have a sweet potato at lunch, and eat a small serving of white beans at dinner. 7 days later, she texted me, "I slept through the night for the first time in 2 years." That's the power of getting this right. Quick question before we continue. What time do you usually wake up at night? 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m.? Drop the time in the comments below. I read every single one, and I want to know if there's a pattern here. Go ahead and comment right now. I'll wait. And if this information is already making sense to you, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. This is just the beginning. Now let's talk about calcium. And I'm not talking about bone health. I'm talking about something most doctors never mention: calcium's role in deep sleep. Here's what most people don't know. Calcium regulates the way your brain absorbs melatonin. Without enough calcium, your brain produces melatonin just fine, but it can't use it effectively. It's like having gas in your car but a clogged fuel line. The resource is there, but it's not getting where it needs to go. Stanford University published research in 2019 that changed everything we thought we knew about calcium and sleep. They found that after age 60, your body's ability to utilize calcium drops by 23%. And that decline correlates directly with a 20 to 30% reduction in deep sleep. Deep sleep is not optional. It's not a luxury. It's the stage where your body repairs damaged tissue, consolidates memories, flushes toxins from your brain, and recharges your immune system. Without it, you wake up feeling tired even if you stayed in bed for 8 hours. So here's the mistake most people make. They take a calcium supplement and expect it to work. But calcium doesn't work alone. It needs vitamin D to be absorbed. And after 60, your skin produces less vitamin D from sunlight, and your gut absorbs less from food. So you can take all the calcium you want, but if you're deficient in vitamin D, your body won't use it. Here's the action step. First, get 10 to 15 minutes of sunlight in the late afternoon or early evening. not midday when UV is highest. Late afternoon. This helps your body produce a small but meaningful amount of vitamin D without increasing your skin cancer risk. Second, eat calcium-rich foods in small amounts throughout the day. Greek yogurt, leafy greens like kale and collard greens, sardines with bones, fortified almond milk or oat milk. These are all excellent sources. And here's the secret most people miss. Pair those foods with healthy fats like olive oil, avocado, or a handful of nuts. Why? Because vitamin D is fat soluble. Without fat, your body can't absorb it. And without vitamin D, your body can't use the calcium. When you follow this approach for 30 days, your sleep architecture changes. You spend more time in deep sleep. You wake up less often, and you start to feel genuinely rested in the morning, not just awake. Now we need to talk about the most controversial mineral on this list, sodium. I know what you're thinking. You've been told for years to limit sodium, cut back on salt, avoid processed foods, and that's good advice for most people. But here's what the guidelines often miss. Some people over 60 don't have too much sodium. They have too little, especially at night. Think of sodium like the oil in your car engine. Too much sodium, you get engine sludge. Blood pressure rises. Arteries stiffen. Too little sodium, your engine seizes up at 3 a.m. Your heart rate spikes. Your nervous system panics. You need just the right amount to keep everything running smoothly through the night. Here's how this happens. During sleep, you lose sodium through sweat, through your breath, and through natural hormonal shifts. And if your baseline sodium intake is already low because you've been following a strict low-sodium diet for years, that nighttime loss can push your levels below the threshold. Your body needs to maintain stable heart function. When sodium drops too low, your heart compensates. It increases its rate to maintain adequate blood flow. You don't notice this consciously. You're not aware of your heart beating faster. But your nervous system is, and that subtle increase in heart rate is enough to shift you out of deep sleep and into a lighter, more fragile stage. This is one of the most common hidden causes of 3 a.m. and 4 a.m. awakenings. You're not anxious. You're not stressed. You're not in pain. But your heart is sending a signal that something is off, and that signal wakes you up. Stanford researchers found that adults over 60 who were on very low sodium diets experienced 28% more nighttime awakenings than those on moderate sodium intake. 28%. Now, I need to be very clear here. This is not permission to eat potato chips and processed foods. Those are loaded with inflammatory oils and additives that cause other problems. What I'm talking about is a small, strategic sodium adjustment in the evening. If you've been on a very restrictive diet, here's the action step. If you've been following a low-sodium diet for years and you're still experiencing frequent nighttime awakenings, consider adding 200 to 300 milligrams of sodium in the evening. That's about 1/8 of a teaspoon of high-quality sea salt or a small serving of naturally salty foods like olives, pickles, or miso soup. But here's the critical part. Do not use sports drinks or electrolyte beverages. Most of them are loaded with sugar, artificial colors, and synthetic ingredients that create more problems than they solve. Stick with whole foods or a pinch of sea salt in your dinner. And here's what happens when you make this adjustment. Your heart rate stabilizes overnight. Your nervous system stays calm. And those frustrating middle-of-the-night awakenings start to disappear. Again, this is not medical advice to increase your sodium if you have high blood pressure, heart disease, or kidney problems. But if your doctor has confirmed that your blood pressure is well controlled and you've been on a strict low-sodium diet, this might be the missing piece. Here's something most doctors won't tell you, because they're trained to think in terms of disease prevention, not sleep optimization. The sodium guidelines you've been following were designed to reduce heart attack and stroke risk in the general population. They're based on averages, but you're not average. You're over 60, your kidneys work differently. Your hormones work differently. and your sleep needs are different. So the same low-sodium diet that protects your heart during the day might be sabotaging your sleep at night. And poor sleep increases your risk of heart disease, cognitive decline, and early mortality. So which is worse, a tiny sodium adjustment in the evening or chronic sleep deprivation? The answer is obvious once you see it. Before we move to the 30-day protocol, I want to hear from you. Have you been taking magnesium for months but still waking up at night? Drop a yes in the comments. You're not alone. And if you've tried everything and nothing has worked, comment nothing works. I want to know how many of you are dealing with this right now. All right, now let's put all of this together into a simple, actionable 30-day protocol that you can start tonight. Step 1, water timing. This is the foundation. Drink 40% of your daily water intake in the morning, another 40% at lunch, and only 20% in the evening. This prevents nighttime dilution of your electrolytes and reduces the number of times you have to get up to use the bathroom. Simple but powerful. Step 2, distribute your minerals across all 3 meals. Do not load up on potassium at dinner and ignore it the rest of the day. Do not take all your calcium at breakfast and forget about it. Your body needs consistent levels, not spikes and crashes. Add 1 high potassium food to each meal. Add 1 calcium-rich food to each meal. And if you need a small sodium boost, add it to your dinner, not your breakfast. Step 3, avoid single high-dose mineral supplements. After 60, your digestive system doesn't absorb large doses efficiently. Your stomach acid production has decreased. Your gut lining has changed. What works better is low-dose, high-frequency intake throughout the day. Think of it like sipping water all day long instead of chugging a gallon all at once. Step 4, pair calcium with vitamin D and healthy fats. Without these, your body can't absorb calcium properly. A handful of almonds with your Greek yogurt, a drizzle of olive oil on your kale salad, a slice of avocado with your sardines. These small additions make a massive difference in absorption. Step 5, get 10 to 15 minutes of late afternoon sunlight, not midday. Late afternoon. This is when UV levels are lower, but still sufficient to stimulate vitamin D production. And that vitamin D is what allows your body to use the calcium you're eating. Step 6, track your sleep for 30 days. Write down what time you go to bed, what time you wake up, and how many times you woke up during the night. This is not about obsessing over data. It's about seeing the pattern change. Because when you follow this protocol consistently, you will see the pattern change. And here's what the research shows. When adults over 60 balance these 3 minerals using this exact approach, nighttime awakenings decrease by up to 54% within 30 days. Deep sleep increases by 20 to 30%. Muscle cramps and restless legs decrease by 40%. And daytime energy improves dramatically. This is not about buying expensive supplements. This is not about following a complicated plan. This is about understanding how your body works after 60 and giving it what it actually needs. I want you to imagine something for a moment. Imagine going to bed tonight, sleeping all the way through until morning. No 3 a.m. awakening. No leg cramps. No lying there staring at the ceiling, wondering what's wrong with you. Imagine waking up at 6 or 7 a.m. feeling genuinely rested. Not just awake, but rested. Your mind is clear. Your body feels strong. You have energy to do the things you want to do. Imagine not needing an afternoon nap just to get through the day. Imagine having the mental clarity to remember names, follow conversations, and enjoy your hobbies without feeling foggy. That's not a fantasy. That's what happens when your body gets the minerals it needs at the right time. Your body after 60 is still capable of deep restorative sleep. It's still capable of healing itself every single night. It just needs the right support. And now you know exactly what that support is. Potassium to calm your muscles. Calcium to help your brain absorb melatonin. Sodium to stabilize your heart rate. All 3 balanced throughout the day, not dumped into your system all at once. This is not complicated, but it is precise. And when you get it right, everything changes. So here's what I want you to do tonight. Start with one change, just one. Adjust your water timing. Add a high potassium vegetable to dinner. Get 15 minutes of late afternoon sunlight. Pick one thing and do it tonight. Then tomorrow add one more, and the next day add another. Within a week, you'll have the full protocol in place, and within 30 days, you'll see the results. Your sleep problems after 60 are not random. They're not inevitable, and they're not something you just have to live with. Your body is sending you signals, those nighttime awakenings, those leg cramps, that feeling of exhaustion even after 8 hours in bed. Those are all clues pointing to a mineral imbalance that can be fixed. And once you fix it, you get your life back. Sleep is not a luxury. It's your body's reset button. It's how you restore your energy, protect your memory, maintain your cardiovascular health, and extend your lifespan. When you get it right, everything else gets easier. So start tonight. Give your body what it's asking for. And in 30 days, come back to this video and leave a comment telling me how you're sleeping. I'll be here. I'll be reading. And I'll be celebrating with you. Thank you for watching After 60 Health Lab. And one more thing, if you know someone over 60 who's lying awake right now, wondering what's wrong with them, send them this video. It might be the answer they've been searching for. Share it with your spouse, your parent, your friend who keeps complaining about sleepless nights. This information could change their life. I'll see you in the next one. Sleep well. Medical disclaimer. The information in this video is for educational purposes only and is not intended to replace professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult with your healthcare provider before making any changes to your diet, supplement routine, or health regimen, especially if you have existing medical conditions or take prescription medications.